5 key concepts that we are chatting about in this module. Number 1, become the authority. If we're looking at becoming the authority, Kevin, like where are we starting? What are we trying to achieve, and how are we sort of going about it in a process?
Okay, probably what we're trying to do is cut through not specifically other martial arts schools, but we know the mainstream leisure time activities, primarily sport, it always features in any local newspaper or local online newspaper, and surprisingly, people still read them. The local chat, in community groups and all that sort of stuff. So we've got to cut through that and bring martial arts up. That's the first bit. The second phase is that you're the person they go to. With no disrespect, people in the media are very, very busy. And if you make it really easy for them to be able to do their job, you become the go-to person. You're the first one they call. The people that I target is the business leaders, as I mentioned earlier, Chamber of Commerce, your business community groups, Lions Club, Rotary. They're always looking for someone to be a guest speaker. They're always looking for someone to come along and have a chat about their business. You just need to have a look what ones are in your area, in your community, in your town, your suburb, and make yourself available. Speak to the secretary or the president and put yourself forward as, hey guys, I'd love to come along and have a bit of a chat about what we do, So that's the first part. The second part is if you have a local radio station or stations, select one which is sort of popular with your target audience and go there and introduce yourself. Just introduce yourself, any information. And this applies to TV as well. So radio/TV/newspaper. It's, if you're in a big city, it's still possible to be the go-to person. You just got to go and make yourself, because quite often you sit back and say, they're going to get somebody else or whatever. Well, you got to be that person. You have to be the person that they're going to go to. You need to push yourself forward and be the person they go to. You want to make it really simple for them to contact you and be available. That's the first thing with regard to being known. And the other thing is obviously other sporting groups. This is something I sort of stumbled across. One of our guys, he's right into hockey, or field hockey, and he said to me, we're having a bit of an open day when the season ends. Do you reckon you guys would like to come and do a bit of a martial arts demonstration? I said, okay, because we all sort of see other sports as a bit of an opposition to our business. However, this kicked a huge goal for us, because what happened was we went along and they had their end of season trophies and so we put on a little demonstration, busted some boards, the usual thing, and had some flyers there, and lo and behold, all these kids started coming in from the hockey club because they wanted to do something in the off season. So, wow, and I've replicated that with soccer, netball, and the swimming club as well. So we go and do a little demo, do a little talk, give out some flyers, say hello, just get your face out there. So that's the sort of the four areas that I focus on. So as you can see, it's a combination of actual groups, leaders, news reporters. The newspaper reporters are hungry for stories. I can give you a good little story if I could, George. I'll talk about during COVID. A story I'd like to relate was the TV reporter rang me, sent me a text message, said, have you got anything for us? And initially I was going to respond and say, no, there's nothing. We're virtually shut down. It's we just finished doing Zoom and we've been open again and we're just tentatively moving on. So this was about, it might have been mid last year, when COVID was really rampant and causing a lot of problems with business and that. I said, I have a story for you. And she said, I rang her. I said, I have a really good story. I want to talk about the 2 kids that aren't going to the World Championships because of COVID. And she went, wow, that's a great story. So they run it for about 3 weeks. Like they did different aspects to it. They got on board. The newspaper saw it, and the radio interviewed it as well. So it was a huge win. I gave them a story about absolutely nothing. I crafted it in a way. Well, hey, this is a human interest story because these 2 kids, young adults, 17 and 22, were training for the World Standard Championships, which is a full contact kung fu. And it was going to be in Morocco, and it got canned. They'd been fundraising, they'd been training hard, going to camps and going, and all that. And we got a story. We got a story out. Well, one was going to the youth, and one was going to go to the adult World Championships. And we did a big story about them not going anywhere. So, and it worked really well. And off the back of that, we got some interest and trials. So it really is about making yourself the go-to person when it comes to martial arts. And sometimes you get a newspaper reporter asked me the other day about, a year or so ago, about the upcoming bouts in the UFC, and just wanted an opinion. I think it was when Whittaker versed Israel the first time, and and I just gave a bit of background, my thoughts on it. So it was just to get that, and then we had one of the magazines were doing an interest about activities for kids, and wanted to know why is martial arts, why is it beneficial? So they did a nice piece on that. Years ago, I had a really good relationship with a local newspaper in a country town where I lived, and I had an article that I'd write once a month called Kickback Corner, and it was sort of like a picture of a guy kicking, and it was a little bit corny, but I'd interview all the local other martial arts schools and promote them and talk about their different sort of martial arts and all that. But I was the authority because I was the one conducting the interview, but I always give myself a little subliminal plug in there, and that was really successful, So it's just about putting yourself forward and putting yourself in the front of these people's minds. And hang on, who's that master? Oh yeah, I got him on my phone. Okay, so make sure they put your number in their phone. It's just a simple thing. Just say, look, I'll pop my number over to bang, you got it now. And make sure your phone's got your number, your email address, etc., etc. So when they get the card that comes across when you send a text. So just a number of simple things, and it's just about pushing forward with that.
Love it. I like even just the simplicity of how you share your contact information. That's a real simple thing, but if somebody shares your contact with you, and they can save it, and they didn't have to type your name in, but you've got your name, your email, and everything else. LinkedIn does this really good. If any of you, if that is your thing, if you are on LinkedIn and you're doing a business-to-business thing, LinkedIn, I haven't played with it because I don't use it, but they've got it would be a good investment for you to learn that, because it's got a really good way of you can stand next to someone and share the contact. I can't remember exactly how it works, but if you're doing this type of business to business, LinkedIn is probably a good channel for you to focus on with this type of engagement as well.